Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are going to check out another of these brand new Star Ace models. One I am equally as excited about as I was to the Dunkleosteus, because we have another incredible fish on our hands, and we also have, a prehistoric fish that still lives to today, which is really cool. But again, we have the Coelacanth, and the appearance to this looks like potentially the best Coelacanth model that I have ever seen. And that is really saying something, because there are some really good ones out there, but I don't know if the model itself actually turns out looking like the image here on the front of the box. I don't think anybody else's Coelacanth models could compete with this one. But you can again see that we have the beautiful artwork here on the front of the box. Again, it states the name and also says Wonders of the Wild series, and this is probably our fourth review of the Wonders of the Wild series now, so actually fifth, I believe. So that's pretty awesome. There are 4 models into the line at this point, but I've reviewed the Concavenator twice as far as the prototype, and then I have the actual release itself I've also reviewed here on the channel, and then we've also reviewed the Mammoth prototype as well as the Dunkleosteus I just mentioned, and we should have a review up of the Mammoth, the final product, as well pretty soon. But you can again see the box looks beautiful, just like it did with the Dunkleosteus box. And then over here on the side, you can again see a really nice image of our Coelacanth. Same deal for the opposing side, though the glare is kind of destroying the ability to see it because the camera is just not picking it up very well. The box has a really nice glossy look to it overall. And then we've got the top of the box, which again sports an incredible image here of our Coelacanth model. Look at the eyes on that. Those eyes are impressive. And then we have a look here at the back of the box with all sorts of information about the model, the Coelacanth, all of that good stuff. And it also actually shows you the woolly mammoth down there in the bottom left-hand corner. So let's go ahead, pop this box open, and check it out. So I have the box open now, ready to bring in our incredible looking Coelacanth, and let me tell you one thing, it is amazing. But before I do that, I also wanted to show you guys this. So this is the Deluxe edition, which means that we have this incredible fossil replica included. I have seen images of it online. It looks super cool. So again, they send the box for that separate. And what's cool about these releases is you can buy the Coelacanth as like a standard standalone release, or you can buy the fossil here as a standard standalone release, or of course you can buy both together with the deluxe version, which would probably be the best way to go if you want both of them, because again you would get it at a little bit of a cheaper price to acquire both together. But regardless, I'll include links in the description, of course, to pretty much every one of the Wonders of the Wild series, all on Big Bad Toy Store at the end of the video. So if you are interested in picking any of these up, make sure you check the links in the description so you can grab yourself some of these incredible models. And here is our Coelacanth fossil replica, and boy is that beautiful. That is absolutely as beautiful, if not maybe even a little more beautiful than the Dunkleosteus. So let's go ahead and put that over there. Absolutely love the fact that they include those in these sets. It's just a great idea on the part of Star Ace to give you a real-life living type of a model, as well as the fossil remains of the model. And then you also have the screws and the stand and everything so that you can kind of stand it up, or of course put it up on your wall. There's also a little nameplate included, but what's interesting about this is you get the nameplate here with the fossil replica, but you also get a nameplate with the model itself, so you technically get 2 nameplates. And then on top of that, you also get this kind of, well, it's upside down, but this kind of like cloth packaging so that you can kind of take your fossil replica and you can put it inside this cloth pack and keep it nice and safe, which is currently where I have my Dunkleosteus stored, is inside the cloth that came with that, until I can find a place to throw it up here on my wall. And then here is our Coelacanth, which I clearly need to readjust the camera. And look at how magnificent that is. I am completely confident when I tell you this is easily the best Coelacanth model that exists as far as what I've seen. I was a little bit, curious as to how good this would turn out compared to the promotional images, because, there's almost always a decline in quality from promotional images when you get like that really cool, very high quality artist painted model compared to what you get from the factory. But I'm going to tell you completely that the Star Ace Wonders of the Wild line here is producing some of the best factory painted models I've ever seen that really hold up perfectly, in my opinion, to what you see on the prototypes. Man, is this thing ever incredible looking. I love how much life there is to the pose, as well as you can clearly see so much going on as the coelacanth is kind of swimming along, the tail's moving, all the fins appear to be moving, and those eyes are absolute magic because they look completely alive. Boy, I am absolutely flabbergasted by how beautiful this is, so let's go ahead and jump straight to a closer look at it right now. So first of all, I just wanted to quickly run through the fossil replica and show you guys how beautiful that is. You can see again, it really nicely replicates the fossil remains of a coelacanth, and you can see that the background too, like the kind of earthy area or like the mountainous area here that we would find our coelacanth, looks amazing. It looks super realistic, and they've added in some incredible paintwork to that as well. Again, adding in just a lot of different tones of color, a lot of realism to the actual backdrop here of our coelacanth fossil replica. But then when you actually look at the replica itself, the fossil remains, it looks amazing. You can see there's just tons of really nice, very vibrant detail to be found within our coelacanth, as well as some incredible paintwork with plenty of different variations of like reddish browns and darker browns, and maybe even some like hints of blacks, and you could just see lots of color variation throughout. So when it comes to a fossil replica, like, it doesn't get much better than that. That is absolutely beautiful, and definitely an incredible piece to have hanging on anybody's wall. So definitely a huge recommendation from me. And then here on the back, you can again see that we have the areas to kind of connect it and hang it up on your wall, or you have the areas down here to apply screws so that it stands up like a desktop type version. And then you also have a sticker here on the back that tells you, again, it is the Wonders of the Wild Coelacanth by Star Ace. And then when it comes to our coelacanth itself, look at how beautiful that is. That absolutely, if I hold it back here, that absolutely looks like a living, breathing coelacanth here. If I just like got it a little bit wet, I probably could fool people into thinking that I had, caught one. If I snapped a picture of it or something like that after it was wet, it would, again, 100% look like a living coelacanth here in my hands. But you can see straight away one of the most striking aspects of the model would be those eyes. Those eyes are applied with like a glass eye type look, and they look incredibly realistic because of that. You can also take note to the fact that we have the nostrils sculpted out up there, and a lot of beautiful detailing throughout. Like, there is some insanely nice detailing through the course of this coelacanth that you can see here, just looking at like the gills and everything here of our coelacanth. Absolutely gorgeous looking fine detail, as well as a lot of really nice paintwork. As you can see, we have beautiful variations of blues, and then kind of like lighter blues that splotch and stripe and just design all over the place. You can see the mouth is in an open position. You've got the teeth sculpted out in there, all individually sculpted, all individually painted. They look great. You can also see the tongue inside the mouth, as well as, again, just in general, some incredible looking detail in there. Very nice darkish tones, like kind of very dark maroonish or purplish tones on the inside of the mouth here of our coelacanth. As you continue to move back here a little further into the body, first of all, you can see that our fin is out here quite stretched from the body. You can see as, again, showing off some movement here as our coelacanth is swimming along. And I love the paintwork. You can see so much color variation right here within the first area here of our coelacanth. Like, you can see different variations of blues, browns, whites, all sorts of color in there. It's really quite impressive how much paintwork has been included into this. And then when you actually reach out here into the fin, you can see that the detailing of that as well is super crisp. And I also love the realism added, because you can see like imperfections within the fin here, maybe like areas that it has sustained some sort of damage and just kind of damaged the fins and everything. Just a lot of realism, a lot of life has been added to the model. And you can even see the rear looks amazing here as far as the rear of that fin, and the beautiful scale detail that you see here in that area. Absolutely beautiful looking detail on this. And then as you continue to move along the coelacanth, you can continue to see how amazing the paintwork is. Look at all the different tones of color. I can even see like blacks like showing up, really subtle kind of like black spots, and then you have those kind of light blue spots, and then the darker blue majority of the body, but there's also different tones to that blue. And then you have the really nice scale detail throughout. As you lead up here to the dorsal fin, you can see more beautiful detailing in that area as well. And you can also see how they've kind of outlined all of the different areas of the fin, as well as details, including some more of that kind of light bluish tone in there. It's like a blue-green, and you can see that same thing back here for this fin as well. And again, some more really nice paintwork leading out to that area, as well as some gorgeous scale detail. And just looking at the fins again, look at how beautiful they are as far as the movement shown. Like, you can just envision the water kind of running through the fins, causing that type of a curvature in the fins. And you can also see a nice curvature in general to the body as our coelacanth is swimming along. And then moving down here to the bottom, you can again see this fin, and you can also see how it curves up, again just showing how it's moving those fins to continue to move forward and swim along. You see more of the really nice scale detail as you continue to move along the course of our fish here, of our coelacanth. Again, that same type of a look here with the curvatures in the fin here on the underside, just absolutely showing the swimming motion, and again, just so much life. There is nothing stagnant about this model. Like, it straight up looks like it was taken right out of the ocean and then brought to me here in model form. And then as you lead out into the tail of our coelacanth, you can again see that really nice curve in the tail, as well as the the fins here. You can see how they're just kind of like waving through the water, and more insanely beautiful paintwork. Some of these blues are just super vibrant, like really impressively vibrant here to look at in person. And then again, looking here at the opposing side, look at how amazing that eye looks. That eye is awesome. I just completely am over the moon excited about how nice that eye looks. But as you continue to move through the course of the coelacanth, you can also take note to again that it looks pretty much the same as it did on the initial side, but obviously slightly positioned differently, because the other side was kind of leaning toward us with the second half, whereas this side's leaning away, again, because it has that sort of swimming position to it. You can see how the body is absolutely curving as it swims through the water, and you can again see that we have just tons of life through the course of the model with the fins and everything, the beautiful scale detail, the incredible paintwork, just probably some of the nicest paintwork I've ever seen, and definitely the nicest paintwork I've ever seen on a coelacanth model. I honestly don't know if I could choose one over the other when it comes to this or the recent Dunkleosteus, because the Dunkleosteus paint was majestic, and that's putting it mildly. And again, the paintwork here of this coelacanth is, boy, I really can't express to you how gorgeous this is here in person. But you can see again how insanely nice looking the entire model looks through the course of the coelacanth, as well as the underside. Just more beautiful paintwork. You can even see again different tones of blues included here on the underside of the lower jaw. Easily the best coelacanth ever. There's just no competition there. And then we've got our base, and you can see how the underside looks here for our coelacanth. That really helps to create and finish off this beautiful diorama. And you can see that the detailing here is just as crisp as it is on the actual coelacanth itself, as well as the incredible paintwork. You can see lots and lots of variation of color in here, even some really nice looking purples and like reddish tones included in here. And there's not really too much going on like we had seen on the Dunkleosteus as far as different creatures and everything down here. It basically just looks like we're swimming near the bottom of the ocean, or maybe in just a shallow area, and our coelacanth is close to the bottom, and it looks amazing. Again, absolutely perfect looking sculpt, perfect looking paint, and just the perfect addition as far as the base goes to this amazing coelacanth. And then here on the underside, you can again see wonders of the wild coelacanth, and you can also see again the Star Ace name as well as who it was sculpted by. So awesome, awesome, awesome base for a knockout coelacanth. As far as the size goes for our coelacanth, it definitely sports an impressive size. So lengthwise, you're looking at about 11 3/4 inches, I would say, closing in on a foot, or about the 29.5, maybe 30 centimeters. And then for a height, the highest point is going to be the tail fin. You're not really going to be seeing it too well from your angle, your vantage point, but about 6 3/4 inches, or around 17 centimeters. And then for the fossil replica, push our Dunkleosteus there off to the side. And for a length, you were looking at actually about a foot long for this as well, or about 30.5 centimeters. So look at that. It actually stands completely fine without me putting the screws in the back or anything like that. I wouldn't recommend keeping it that way, but it does stand. And then for a height, you were looking at about 6 3/4 inches, or around the 17.5 centimeter range. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Star Ace Coelacanth, as well as the fossil remains there, the fossil replica. And you can get a pretty good idea, again, as far as what the size is, I think, next to these figures. You can see that it's not insanely large, but really does sport an impressive size, especially for a Coelacanth model. It's by far the largest Coelacanth model I've ever seen, and hopefully these figures here standing in for a comparison will help to show you that. And then for another comparison here with only Star Ace models, we have the Wonders of the Wild Dunkleosteus next to the Wonders of the Wild Coelacanth. Here again to give you an idea as far as what the size is of both. And you can see they're fairly similar, honestly, in size. The Dunkleosteus is definitely a little bit bigger, but they both do sport an impressive size and both look amazing together. Like, if you are a fan of prehistoric fish, you really need to have these. Like, they're both, honestly, two of the highest recommendations I think I could possibly give out, because if you are a fan of the Coelacanth or you are a fan of the Dunkleosteus, you're probably not ever going to find a better model than these. So to say these are must-haves, definitely a huge understatement. And then for one final comparison, because I don't really have any Coelacanth models that can even remotely compete with this one as far as a size goes, I figured I would just bring in some random figures here to kind of compare with the Coelacanth, as you have a Mattel Velociraptor, a Collect A Dimetrodon, a Takara Tomy Dinokairos, and a Safari Ltd Eutyrannus here next to our Coelacanth models. So hopefully if you happen to have any of these figures here, that'll help to give you, again, a pretty good idea of the size and also show you how nicely sized the Coelacanth is. So this brand new Star Ace Wonders of the Wild Coelacanth is yet again a model that completely takes my breath away. It is that beautiful, and it's not often that you get something as incredible and as gorgeous as far as these models go. So you really need to take advantage of this, I think, and start purchasing the Wonders of the Wild models if you haven't. And if you have already purchased some, then you probably already know basically what the quality of them is, and you need to keep purchasing them, because I worry that many people will sit on these and kind of wait it out and be like, oh, well, I'll get them eventually, not realizing the fact that these are limited edition models. And, you know, once they sell out, they're gone. You really don't want that to happen. You don't want to have to search these out later, because then the price from third-party sellers, it's going to be through the roof. You definitely want to buy from Star Ace while they're out, because, again, you're probably not going to find a Coelacanth any better than this. It is absolutely as perfect as it gets. No matter what aspect you are looking at, whether it's the presentation, whether it's the sculpt, whether it's the paint job, like, everything is as high quality and museum-like as it gets. The sculpt is amazing just because I love that there's so much life included in it. Like, it's just swimming along, and they make sure that you take note of that fact, and you can really see, again, just so much going on as far as the movement within the fins, the movement of the fish itself, also the mouth opening a little bit. Like, it's so cool visually, and definitely a treat for the eyes as far as the sculpt goes. But the treat for the eyes doesn't stop there, because the paint job is amazing. There's so much incredible paintwork, so much depth to the paint job of this Coelacanth that, again, I am completely in awe looking at it. There's just so many different tones of color that's really subtle added to it, similar to the Dunkleosteus, where, like, I feel like I just need to sit here and stare at it to analyze it and try to figure out how many different tones of color there is in the model, because there's just all these really subtle little areas of paint application that, unless you're really taking note and trying to look for it, you may not even notice. It really is amazing to look at. Just so much variation of color, and all of the coloration applied is as realistic and lifelike as it gets. Like, it 100% looks like body color, and in no way, shape, or form looks like paint on a model. I also love the addition of the glass eyes, because they add another level of realism on top of all of the stuff that I just mentioned for our Coelacanth. And the base is amazing. It's like that perfect type of a base that you would like to see for a Coelacanth. That's kind of just like relaxing down near the ocean floor, or just kind of swimming along down near the ocean ocean floor. Perfect type of a base for a coelacanth that is just as highly detailed and beautifully painted as the coelacanth itself. And you also, again, have, if you purchase the deluxe version, the coelacanth fossil replica, which is an amazing way to kind of display both of these with like the replica behind it or up on the wall above it or something, and then the coelacanth model there next to it to really show you how cool the animal looks alive, but also how cool it looks in fossil remains. Again, the perfect companion piece to this model, and it's honestly just as impressive, I think, as the coelacanth itself, because the sculpting of it is fantastic, the painting of it is fantastic. Just an all-around total win would be this coelacanth model released from Wonders of the Wild from Star Ace. So if you are interested in this, like I said, make sure you check the links in the description. Grab this right away before it sells out, because they are limited editions. They won't last forever, and you don't want to miss out. So make sure you check the links in the description. Go grab yourself this amazing coelacanth, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.